Looking for a good cop, bad cop? Looking for sibling rivalry? Look no further than this week's Torah portion. We're introduced to two twin brothers, but they couldn't have been any different. We have Yaakov, who is smooth-skinned. He's the man who sits and studies all day. He's your goody two-shoes. And then we have his brother Eisav. His brother Eisav is driving his Harley. His brother Eisav is wearing his leather coat, and he is very, very hairy. Now, he's also given a pretty bad rap. Did Eisav deserve it? Let's have a look. Enters Eisav from the field. He's exhausted. Comes Yaakov, and Eisav says, I'm starving. Yaakov says, well, if you sell me your birthright, I'm happy to give you a bowl of soup. Eisav said, it's not worth anything to me anyways. I'm happy to sell it. Now, it's hard to imagine that Eisav, who was brought up amongst righteous people, where being the firstborn has its privileges, that he would just abandon it wholesale. So let's give a little bit of context to appreciate the dynamic of Yaakov and Eisav. What exactly happened that day that Eisav would just wholesale get rid of the Bechor, get rid of the firstborn privilege? The answer is that was the day that Avraham Avinu, that was the day their holy grandfather had died. And that, my friends, had rocked his world. It created the biggest turbulence and the biggest imbalance that you could imagine. How could it be? The man who introduced monotheism to the Fertile Crescent will all of a sudden die? If he could die? If the sun rises for him and he could die? Then what is it worth in the end? And so that was the beginning of Esav's downfall. The reason why he's described as hairy, whereas Yaakov is smooth-skinned, is because things would bounce off Yaakov. He would manage to slide through them. But Eisav would get tangled in the hair. What did he get tangled in? I think it's pretty well understood. Because we, my friends, are obligated in something called emunah. We're supposed to have faith. We're supposed to believe in God. Now, it's very, very, very easy to believe in God when you're not challenged. But it's when the challenge comes, it's when that difficult day comes, where all of a sudden you're not so confident in who you are. So what's the lesson? The lesson we can learn is to be more like Yaakov Avinu. Eisav certainly believed in God, and he certainly was a proud member of his household, but he didn't prepare himself intellectually for those difficult days. That's what we learn from Yaakov. It's not enough when challenges come to look for your emunah tank, to look for your faith. You have to work on your faith during the times when you're not challenged, so when those difficult days do arrive, you can maintain your spiritual equilibrium. Have a wonderful Shabbos.